how I became an actor, how I found an agent, what shows have I been on. If you're new to this channel, my name is Carter. I'm a full-time actor. I could be seen on Grand Army playing Tor, or I can be seen on Dead End Paranormal Park voicing Vince. And yeah, let's get into it. So a little bit about my journey. 2018, I spent 6 months applying to a bunch of different agencies, and I would go online and I would say acting agencies in New York and acting agencies in Maryland, because I was living in Maryland at the time. Acting wherever I could drive to, I was searching. And nowadays, I would not tell you to do that. If you asked me how you can find an agent or a manager, I'd send you to casting networks. I'd send you to IMDb. I'm almost positive you can go onto IMDb and find actors and then look at who they are signed with. Now, if you're a new actor, I wouldn't search like Zendaya or like The Rock or something. I'd search someone who is new in the industry, someone who is maybe with a smaller agency, because in my opinion, I feel like you have a higher chance of getting an agency to recognize you if they're a smaller agency. When I first signed with my agency, they were a boutique agency, and it wasn't the size of the agency, it was the fact that I felt comfortable and I felt supported and I liked the team. I felt like this is who I need to sign with, you know? But yeah, so try those before you start typing in a bunch of websites and going on their application process. And also, don't start submitting yourself until you're ready. And when I say until you're ready, I mean like, do you have headshots? Do you have a calling card? Do you have a resume? Do you have a demo reel? Like, do you have any of those things? A lot of people ask me, how can I have a demo reel if I've never been on anything? And what I encourage them to do is to record themselves doing self-tapes, you know? Whether it be like scenes from shows or movies or monologues that they find online. Record yourself doing a self-tape, a bunch of them, some comedic, some dramatic. Just give yourself range and put that into a demo reel and then submit that. And I know when people say headshots, you think, oh, I'm about to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. There are a lot of options to get affordable headshots. So it doesn't really matter the cost. It's more about the photographer and their talents, and if their work is what you're looking for. So make sure you do your research. This is something that the agents and managers are gonna be seeing, so you want to look your best and feel your best. And for your resume, if you haven't been on any TV shows or movies or commercials, you can always just create a resume that has your skills on there, because when you submit to these agencies, they're gonna wanna know what you specialize in. They're gonna wanna know what your talents are. Let's take you guys back to like my journey. So back in 2018, I pitched myself to a few different agencies, and a whole year later, I got a response from an agent that they were interested in having me come in and audition in front of them. I was living in Maryland, and me and my mom ended up driving to New York to meet with this agency. And I had a monologue picked out, because that's usually how it works. They'll have you choose a monologue to perform. And a little bit on that, make sure you're choosing a monologue that best fits you, okay? And I say that because in 2018, this was pre-transition, so I tried to find a monologue that was out of my comfort zone. And because I wasn't out about being a trans guy, and I hadn't transitioned and I wasn't passing as a man, I found a role for a woman. And this woman was arguing with her husband about I don't know what it was. So when I got to my audition, I performed in front of the agent and a few other people in the room. And they just like, after I was done, it was very quiet. And I was like, oh my God, I just totally butchered that. And they weren't quiet because I did a terrible job. They were quiet because they were confused about the audition that I chose and the character the role that I chose to audition. So they said, like, why did you choose this? And I said, oh, I wanted to do something out of like my comfort zone. And they were like, well, when we discovered you, we actually saw your YouTube channel and we saw how funny you were and how outgoing you were. And we were kind of looking for that. And I was like, oh, crap. So I was like, can you give me 5 minutes and I will go and memorize another script and come back and perform for you guys? And thankfully they said yes. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm very grateful that they said yes and gave me a chance to, like, you know, try again. And the only reason that I even said that was because I did have another script that I was initially gonna go with, but I just didn't feel, I felt like it was too funny. I don't know. I felt like it was too funny that they might not take me serious, and I don't know why I thought that, maybe my nerves or something, but I was like, it's too funny, they're not gonna take it serious. So I went back out there, and my mom was like, she was shocked. She was like, you're already back? And I was like, mother, they were so confused on why I chose this monologue, and they're giving me an opportunity to choose a different one, so I'm gonna go with the one that I told you I was gonna go with in the first place. And so I'm like looking over and I'm freaking out, and then I think in like 2 or 3 minutes they come back and they're like, are you ready? I was like, yeah, which I wasn't, because I wasn't off book. But I was gonna say no, like they already gave me more time. Shoot, they gave me a second chance, low key. So I went back in there and I wasn't fully off book, but I did the best that I could. And even though I was kind of holding my phone, oh no, you know what? I actually brought that script printed because I was deciding on my drive up. So even though I was on, like, holding the paper and I wasn't off book, I just went for it. And it was so freaking funny. I was entertaining them. They were laughing, which was huge. I knew that. I was like, low key, I was like, okay, we got this. There's still chances. And they were like, if we choose to represent you, you will be getting an email from us or a call. And they said, thank you for, auditioning. And it was nice to meet you. And so, I shook their hand. I left, smiling all hard. My mom knew that, like, I did good. And we were waiting for the elevator, and they were kind of like out, and one of them came out to meet my mom and just like shake her hand and everything, which I thought was sweet. And then I didn't want to like tell my mom how it went until we got in the elevator, because I was super, like, I was giddy, I was giddy. So once we got in the elevator, I was like, mother, I crushed it, right? And then we talked some more when we got in the car, but that felt confident. And one thing I learned from that is, like, go with your gut first off. Second, don't choose to do something out of your comfort zone for something that you're doing for the first time. At least not for this, because it's like they clearly know who you are because you sent them your demo reel or you sent them your YouTube channel. So they're saying yes to what they're seeing already in a demo reel or a YouTube channel, then they're gonna want to see that. They're gonna want to see that. So yeah, that's my advice for that. So after that, fast forward, a whole week goes by. I'm working. I think I'm a cashier at this grocery store called Mom's. And of course I'm doing my day-to-day, like regular stuff, going to work, going home, eating, showering, doing my thing. On the 7th day, 7 days later, guys, I'm at the cashier desk and I get an email, but I don't look at my phone right away. It's slow. I pull my phone out, I got a few text messages, I'm responding, and then I go to my email out of nowhere, because it's not like a normal thing that I do, and I wasn't checking it every day after that because I thought it'd take like a month before I heard back from them. But I open up my email and I see, like, my agency, which is Take 3 Talent. I don't even read the email. I leave the cashier desk. I tell whoever's working, like, yo, I just need a 5. I just need to run in the back and call my mom real quick. So I leave, right? While I'm working, I go to the back room and I FaceTime my mom, and my older brother Cyril is in the room with her, and I'm like, mother, guess what? I got signed. Like, when I tell you, it was the best day of my entire life. Truly. Because I just didn't think it was real. I didn't think it was possible. Like, you're talking to someone who, like, for a very long time wanted to be an actor and then got signed. So my mom was freaking ecstatic. She was just like, I don't know, it was a very emotional moment, but I was also at work, so I had to keep it short. But she was like, what next? And I was like, we gotta go back out there and sign. And she was like, when? I was like, in a week. And she's like, what? Like, I think a week later, you know what, I'm gonna pull up the email. But I think a week later, I had to be back in New York to sign. And we drove back up there again, which, I'll try to find a video to insert for that. But yeah, so after I was done on the phone with my mom, I went back. Kucha was snoring. She's over this. So after I got off the phone with my mother, I called my dad, and we had our moment and everything. And then I went back to the register because I still had like a few hours of work. But I told my manager that day that I got the yes, and that I needed to go back to New York, and, that I would have more information about how this all works, because I didn't think I had to, like, stop working. I didn't book a job. I just, signed. And when I got home, I like fully read the email and found out when I needed to be in New York. And then like, a few days later, we went to New York and we signed, which I have a whole video up on my YouTube channel about like signing with the agency, which was crazy. And so I started receiving auditions, and the auditions basically came in an email, and it would say like the character and all that good stuff and the role, and then it would be the sides. And yeah, I did that for a year before booking anything. And I know that sounds crazy, but this was still new. Even though it was something I wanted to do, it was still new to me. So I had a lot of like learning to do. I was a new actor, and they understood that, but it was cool to still audition, but things weren't clicking. And a lot of that now I know was that I didn't feel connected to the roles. These were all female roles, and because I was still trying to figure out how to like come out as being a trans guy and also understand my body, myself, my feelings on all that, I didn't really know how to express that to my agency or even my family. So for a long time I was just getting roles like that, and it just wasn't hitting. And of course now I audition for male roles, but it was a long time coming. Drink your water, kids. I think during that process, like during that year of auditioning, I learned, how to film a correct self-tape. I learned what the audition process is like. And mind you, when I first started auditioning, it was like some of them were self-tapes and then some of them were in person. So I would literally find out I had a in-person audition, and then I would go to New York the day of, like the morning of. I would audition in front of the director, and then I would get back on a bus and go back home. Every single time I had an in-person audition by myself, literally. And I committed, I was working at the grocery store, and they were very understanding of that part of my life because they knew that this was what I wanted to do. So they supported me in that field. But that was my everyday I had an in-person audition. It was just taking a bus to New York, auditioning, and then going back home. And some days I had to go there before, like the day before, and get a hotel because my audition was at like 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning, and there were no buses that were going out that early.
11, like for real, guys, I'm about to go crush this audition. And yeah, that's about it. My Uber's probably been waiting for me downstairs, so I'm gonna go. But wish me luck, and yeah, stay beautiful.
So yeah, that was a time. I enjoyed that time, honestly. That was a good time. Actually, when I booked Grand Army, that was an in-person audition. And that was actually my first reel on IG, now that I think about it. And before I even booked, in the video, I'm like, I'm a get this.
My audition was amazing, and I can't wait to be able to tell you guys more about it once I find out that I got the part. Manifestation is a real thing.
It was like I was manifesting before even knowing what manifesting was. And I just kept on saying like, I could feel it in my heart. Like it was like no one could bet me $1 billion otherwise. Like in my heart, I knew that I booked that role. I think I auditioned for 3 roles that day. And I did great in all of them, but that role, I said, I got it. And it was almost like a nerve-wracking experience. It was like I got the jitters of someone saying you booked this role. Like that's what I felt, so I knew. And I went home, and then a week later, another week later, I got a call. And because I had auditioned for so many roles, I didn't know what I booked, and I also was like almost like I checked out. So I wasn't registering what they were saying to me. My agent's like, you booked it. And I'm like, which one? Which I'm so happy that it was Grand Army because that was an unbelievable experience. And if you haven't already, like if you're new to this channel, I do have a lot of videos up where I'm on set of Grand Army or behind the scenes or meeting the cast, or like what it's like living in Canada for filming. I have all these cool and fun videos. Yeah, I kind of just wanted to like tell my story a little bit. And I'm hoping that I receive some questions out of telling my story that I'll be able to answer in my next video. I want this channel to be where you can find answers and find support and direction. I know when I first started back in 2018, I was very hard on myself with every audition, and I didn't really get to enjoy the fact that I was finally living my dream. So I think in the beginning, the only thing that I would kind of push on others is to just take the moment in, enjoy it. Of course, work hard, do your job and all, but like, you're new to this. This is all new to you. Receiving auditions, doing self-tapes, in-person auditions. Like, with time and with practice, you will grow, you will get better. Just allow yourself to walk into this new journey and just be really happy, because I feel like that type of energy will show within your auditions. I just want you to like witness in video form someone going after their dreams as an actor and grabbing it, you know what I mean? And knowing that it is possible. And I know right now, post-strike, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like all your dreams of like becoming an actor are fading away, but they're not. The possibilities are still there, and I truly do believe that things are going to get even better. Don't give up. You know what I mean? Like, don't give up. Ask me questions, whether it be here or somewhere else. Ask me questions. Let me help you. I will continue to make videos to kind of share like the knowledge that I have received in my years of being an actor, and hopefully that helps with you or resonates with you in some way. But I just don't want you guys to give up just because of post-strike and all the things that's happened, because there is still opportunity. And I do believe that there's different ways to put yourself out there besides just pitching yourself to agents and managers, utilizing other social media platforms and kind of just like showing your talents in video form, because you never know like how you're going to get discovered. So just don't give up. Just keep on going for what you want and keep believing. You know what I mean? Keep believing. There are still shows being made and movies being made, and there are still roles available, and I do believe that your time is coming. So just keep on believing. Keep on working at your craft. In the meantime, take some acting classes. There are a lot of like online classes, and there are a lot of videos, YouTube videos on acting, but I don't think there's anything like being in an acting class. I think it's the hands-on for me is what I enjoy and what I love. And I personally think that everyone should take an acting class if they're interested in acting. So just look for a local acting class, and if there's none in person that you can get to, then just find one online. But like I said, just stay within your craft. Keep on working towards your craft. Don't stop, because it's going to allow the universe to just start pulling that stuff in, pulling opportunity. That's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you like the content that I make, feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell so you are aware and alerted for the next time I post. Like I said, I will be bringing more acting related videos to this channel, as I think I have a lot of knowledge that I've gained with the shows that I've been on and just being in the industry, and the friends that I have and the things that I've learned from a lot of people. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it encouraged you to go after your dreams. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.